Today we're working on an Olevia LCD HDTV, model number 237-T12. The problem we're having is that we get a black screen whenever the power button is pressed, so we get no picture. The blue light on the right side corner there stays lit until we press on the power, and the light will go out, and the screen might even blip for a second and then just go totally dark. We get nothing. Turn it back off, and we'll move on to the next. What you want to do first is unplug the TV. On the back there is a little power switch. Make sure that is off also. And lie the TV down flat on something soft, whether it be a towel or a bedspread or something like that, to protect the screen. Then we're going to go around the outside with a Phillips head screwdriver and remove the screws that hold the back cover on. There are about 10 all around the outside, and in the center there are two. One there and one there. The power cord on the TV is totally removable, and you'll need to take that out before removing the back cover. After all the screws are out, lift the back cover off slowly and place it on the side. That uncovers the inside of our TV. The board that we're going to be looking at for this problem is over on the left hand side, and it has 3 small screws holding it down. One here, and one over here. And that just requires a small Phillips head screwdriver, and we're going to take that out and remove this metal cover. We used a little bit of magic marker to mark where our screws go. A line there, and on the other side. And take note of this little bump right here. That's actually going to help you line up the plate when you put it back on. You have one on this side. There's one down over here on this side, right next to the other screw hole, which is also marked. Alright, now that our board is uncovered, what I'm going to do is disconnect some of the wire harnesses. There's 2 small ones on the right hand side. Just push it on the little tabs and wiggle it out. Push it to the side. And the same with the other one. And then there is a little ribbon cable here. Right? It's a flat wire. And we mark that where it lines up. And we're just going to wiggle that until it comes out. Very carefully though. Very carefully pull and wiggle, pull and wiggle. And it comes out. And just lay that on the side. And move our board. And we're going to remove this last harness here. Alright, now that our board is out, I can take a closer look at it. This whole board you could probably get on eBay for about $45 or $50. What's interesting is that the board itself, let's see if I can focus in on that, LG Phillips LCD. And there's a number there, and there's a number there. There's also another part number up top. Okay, so if you want to search for a whole new board, you can always try to look for those numbers, and the board is made by LG. But what we're going to focus on are 2 capacitors over here. Alright, they are 680 microfarads, 35 volts. So you can see the 35V listed right there, and right underneath says 680 and a little symbol with the F for microfarads. Okay. Now, just looking at these, they don't look bad from that side. Okay. But if we look on the top, can definitely see the one on the right is bubbling out, and even a little brown, it's leaking, a little burnt. So that's what we're going to replace. Since we're here, we're probably going to replace both of them, but the one on the right is probably going to be our problem. So all you need is a solder iron to remove some of the solder and put two new ones right in its place. It's very important to know on this board that you get ones that are the same exact size, because they need to fit into, there's two little openings here. If I pull this up, there's actually an opening there so that the back cover of the TV can go on. So you need to sit back in there, okay? Alright, so let me heat up the soldering iron and we'll get to that. Okay, so about 5 minutes has passed, and I went and I took the old capacitors out and I put the new capacitors in, same exact way the old ones were in there. Okay, and I'm in no way a master solderer, but this does not take much skill to just take two out, put two right back in its place. All you need is a soldering iron, maybe a little bit of solder. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our board back in. Back on here, let me put my harness back on, turn it around. And let me just attach all the harnesses and put the screws on. Now I want to show you this before I put the screws and the cover back on. I put my big harness back in, and also the ribbon cable, and again be very careful with that, try not to push it on real hard and kink it. Little rocking action and a little pressure goes right into the slot, and I have my screw holes all lined up here, and my other two small harnesses, one in here and one back here, and again a little tab holds my board in place, and there's my other screw hole. So what I'll do is I'll get the cover, I'll line the cover back up, and again I have a tab down the bottom. I put the cover on, and I have a tab over on this side which help lines it up. And there's my screw hole there with the mark, screw hole here with the mark, and one screw hole down this side. Alright, so I'll put those small screws back in, and we'll see what we have from there. Metal shield is all back on, screws are all in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the cover, and we're going to line the cover back up and put all the screws back in, and put the electrical plug back in where it belongs. Should take about another 5 minutes maybe. Okay, we put the cover back on with all the screws in place, all the way around the edges. Just make sure your edges line up before you tighten anything down. And the two screws closer to the center. The hardest part to get the cover on and off may be the coax connection here, so be careful not to hit that or snap that off. What we want to do is put our power plug back in. It goes in one way. Okay. And we want to turn our main breaker switch to the on position. And we're going to turn our TV over, plug it in, see what we have. Alright, so our TV is plugged in, and we have our DVD player here. Just so we have some sort of video. We have a blue light, shows power, and we had that before. Got that. And plug the DVD into video 1. Let's see if this comes up. And that's a good sign. Let's change our source here to video 1. Oh, maybe I was on the other one. Let's see.
Unbelievable features. The only one who gives. Cutting edge 3D menus.
Okay, so instead of throwing out nice LCD TV,
alternate endings.
About a half hour in time, and about $5 worth of material, capacitors, and maybe a little bit of solder. We have a fully functional TV again.